still have this Chance guy.
We're good to force entry?
She's dead. He's saying she's dead, right?
All right, I'm good.
Check the door.
Police! Yep, she's dead. She's right here. We got her. Clear the house. Let's go.
Yeah, she's done. That way. Hang on. Curl. Jesus Christ.
This is the home of 29-year-old Shannon Hyatt in Columbus, Ohio. Officers are currently on their way over there, responding to a frantic call. What they expect is simply a domestic disturbance. But as they race across Powell, it's already clear that this call is different. Now, this case isn't about identifying a suspect. We already know who did it. This man is Chance Donahoe. He's 27, also from Columbus, Ohio. He'd been dating Shannon on and off for a little over a year, but she'd broken things off for good sometime before her death. This is the first time he appears on camera. 11:11 p.m. on August 28, 2023. Chance Donahoe drives past the house in a silver car. He doesn't stop or slow down. At this point, nothing has happened yet. But this pass establishes something important. He knows where Shannon Hyatt's house is, and he's close enough to check it. Now it's 2:11 a.m. the following day. Donahoe's at the same house, but exhibiting different behavior. This time, he's not in a car, he's on foot, and he stays. He's pacing, smoking anxiously, it appears. He re-enters the house after a few moments. This is the point where detectives later mark the transition from observation to action. Whatever decision he was working through earlier, it's been made. Cut to 6:04 a.m. when Powell police contact Columbus police. They report a 911 call from Chance Donahoe.
That was 50. Hey, this is Kathy with Powell Police Department. We've taken a 911 call here, and we've got a Chase Donahoe on the phone. He says he murdered his girlfriend. He said Chase. Okay. And her name is Shannon Hyatt, and all these names are spelled with the last name is Hiott, or at least that's what our officer has in.
And she's at this location?
He gave the address.
It becomes clear later in the call that Donahoe fled the scene, staying at his mother Ashley's, where his 7-year-old half-brother was also staying. This is not a partial admission. There's no confusion in this call. What's notable isn't just that Donahoe confesses, it's how quickly he appears to have done so. There's no attempt to distance himself from the act. From the very beginning, he wants police involved. By 6:14 a.m., officers started arriving at the house. And here's the kicker. Not every officer knows about the confession call yet. Some believe that the suspect may still be inside. That uncertainty affects how they move.
Yeah, it's like All right, we're good to force entry?
She's dead. He's saying she's dead, right?
All right, can I kick the door? I'm good.
Check the door.
Police!
Watch how the first officer opens the door. He pauses immediately. Shannon's body is visible straight away. There's no signs of life or attempt at aid from any officer. From that moment on, the house becomes a crime scene.
Yeah, I got a shotgun, guys. Yeah, she's done. That way. Hang on. Curl.
Post police! Where's that?
Watch out. Loop back around.
Officers clear the house methodically, room by room, including a basement. This isn't about finding the suspect anymore. It's about confirming that Chance is definitely gone. Meanwhile, the officers outside fill others in on the situation. Some now realize that it was Chance himself that made the call. They also mention that Chance wanted police to kill him.
He called.
Oh.
He killed her, and he wants to be. He's not going down. He wants to die.
Gotcha.
This reframes the confession. It's a surrender with intent.
Yeah. See that?
But I mean, there's a hole
Struggle.
like this big in her throat. I'll pull down.
Yeah, it might look.
It's
You
Shannon.
want to see if you can find a piece of mail or something?
Shannon Hiott.
and kid?
The mom and kid.
So his mom.
His mom.
His mom.
Oh,
Okay.
it's his mom.
His mom's apartment, and then his 29.
That's 11 times.
Copy, house is clear. Powell has suspect in custody.
Once the house is cleared, radio traffic changes. Powell police confirm that they have the suspect. The danger is over, but the reality has set in. By the time EMS arrives and confirms the death, the scene is secured. There's no attempt at resuscitation. By 6:25 a.m., officers exit the residence. A neighbor gives a short interview before they leave the area, providing them with footage from her Ring doorbell. She seems disturbed and upset by Shannon's death.
She's dead.
Is it the owner?
I don't know. It's a lady. She's a white lady in her 20s, maybe early 30s.
How old was she?
Maybe.
Was she in her 20s? The little girl that lived next door. She's very young looking.
Yeah, she is. So we're guessing 20s, but I don't know. I mean,
The investigation moves forward. Police now shift their focus to Chance's mother's apartment. It transpires that Chance confessed to his mother about the murder, who in turn called the police too. This matters. It shows that the confession wasn't impulsive or situational, it was repeated.
Ashley, I'm Chance's mom. I said that your husband's upstairs to have a dog here.
This is a detective, okay? Told you they'd be here real quick.
And he left the weapon behind on top of his mother's fridge intentionally.
So he did. From the car, I was standing outside the car. He was sitting in the driver's seat whenever he called. And they advised him to bring the knife and put it there. He walked in, he put the knife in there. He said, "Don't touch this." They told him to come and put it on the counter, but he said, "I don't want to do that because my little brother lives in the house." So they said to put it on top of the fridge. So he did, and then he got in the car. He gave me a hug, and then he got in the car, and then he left. And that's everything that happened, aside from the conversation that I will be happy to tell you about as soon as I figure out if I need an attorney or something like that.
No worries. Yeah.
In rehab, like, I've tried everything I could do to help him, and he's really struggled his whole life.
It sounds like you did as much as you can.
And now his life is over, and like, all this. And I told him, like, just love him so much. I love my son so much. And I just can't believe this has happened.
I'm really
I feel
sorry.
so bad for her family too, and even though she was like doing whatever she could to mess with him so much, like, she didn't deserve that.
Across the street from where Ashley is finishing up her police statement, it appears that Donahoe didn't want to get very far. He's apprehended at a gas station and taken in quite easily.
yes.
All right. Buddy, my name's Chris. I understand you cut your finger.
See where he wants it pointed.
Pointed at us here. Okay.
I'm never really sure what it's picking up when it's.
Okay.
40. No answer. Call back.
Okay, clear. Coming up code 4.
I'm gonna have the medics look at it. Okay.
He appeared to have injured himself with a knife during or after the violent struggle. EMS treated the wounds on his right hand at the scene. Police don't rush him to the station. At this point, he's no longer a threat. Now securely in police custody, Chance is monitored in the back of the squad car. He's quiet. There's no conversation, just road noise. When the car stops, Chance barely reacts. It's a hospital visit for documentation and additional medical care for his injured hand. Although it's not a rush or an emergency, an officer never leaves his side. He's contained and quiet and seems to be pretty compliant. Chance is made to strip out of his clothes and wear a white boiler suit. He's quiet again whilst being examined. The doctors rewrap his fingers. The officers lead him out of the hospital, back to the cars, on to the station. There's no new evidence to be found yet to change Chance's story. It's only becoming more permanent.
I mean, to be completely honest with you gentlemen, I do feel guilt, but it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because at the end of the day, I allowed myself to get to this point. I had the conscious thought, check yourself into a mental hospital. But instead of doing that, I grabbed a knife, changed my clothes, and went and killed Shannon.
It's now nearing 12 p.m. Hours after Chance's hospital visit, he sits in an interrogation room, waiting. He glances at the camera a few times, and when detectives finally enter the room, he seems eager to provide an explanation for his actions.
And I don't want to assume things, but I'm guessing that you want to talk to us about what happened because you called.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So why don't you just kind of take me through yesterday, leading up to last night and today? Like what happened?
I had a major psychological break and kind of completely and utterly lost control of my actions, which I know is not an excuse, and I need to pay for my mistakes and my actions and pay the consequences for everything. But I have undiagnosed schizophrenia.
Okay.
I have auditory and visual hallucinations. I went to a music festival this past weekend and kept seeing Shannon everywhere. And I was working the festival and I kept thinking that I saw Shannon. And then I would look up at the road and I would think that I would see her drive by. And she has known about every single move that I've made since we've broken up. Where I'm at, what I'm doing, who I'm hanging out with, everything. And so I was getting really paranoid and frustrated because I thought that she was kind of stalking me or something. I thought that she broke up with me. Why are you keeping tabs on me and knowing everything that I'm doing? I want you back. If you're just following me around and you don't want to be together, I don't know what to do. Oftentimes, whenever I'm experiencing episodes of psychosis, think that I'm a god.
Okay.
And will kind of view people as just kind of things.
It becomes very evident that Chance struggles with his mental health, and in the aftermath of his and Shannon's breakup, he was highly paranoid and anxious. Shannon at the time was in contact with her sister Lana, and seemed to be doing better mentally. In a Facebook update posted on August 27th, Shannon said the following: "I stopped trying to be the catalyst for change in my relationship, and the truth was revealed." Allegedly, Shannon had also made disparaging posts and comments about Chance on both Facebook and in real life.
She's been just making all these Facebook posts about our breakup. And
I've read some of them.
She's also come after my mom and stuff. And it's kind of one of those things where it's it's one thing to drag my name through the mud. You can take all my friends. It hurts. But I just kind of lost it whenever she's been completely and utterly trashing my mom all over the internet and making my mom out to be a laughingstock and saying things like me and my mother's relationship is extremely inappropriate, implying that we want to have sex with each other and shit. It's fucking disgusting. Are you serious right now?
Did
The
that
audacity.
did that piss you off?
Are you kidding me?
But on August 23rd, just 5 days before her death, Shannon had also posted in the popular Columbus community, "Are we dating the same guy?" in an attempt to warn other women about how Chance treated her whilst they were together. By the time of the murder, Chance had also been made aware of this. In the post, Shannon describes him stealing prescription meds and money from her, which was then spent on drugs. Chance had a different side of the story.
She told me that like she wasn't gonna tell anybody about the theft and stuff because I paid her back the money that I took. And the only reason I took the money is because she took my debit cards because she didn't trust me with finances. Shannon thought that the stealing had everything to do with the addiction to ketamine, when in reality, I go through bouts of unemployment because of the nature of my work. And so I run out of money. And then Shannon gets or would get like really mean and say really nasty things and all this shit. And so in my mind, just take this money, give it right back to her as your money so that she shuts the fuck up and everything can be like happy and peaceful, and then we can like coexist in a happy, peaceful household, and then just replace the money before she finds out that it was taken.
Makes sense.
I guess, but like at the end of the day, I don't know how to stop, and now I've killed.
It seems that Chance wanted officers to believe that this was the breaking point for him. Shannon humiliated him, provoked him online, and the anger this caused him pushed him over the edge. But when he mentions another name, which he allegedly heard about after the murder, the details get murkier for the police.
And then I immediately found out after that she had started sleeping with Matthew Kilkoff, who she had like just recently started being friends with and told me not to worry about again because he's been problematic in her life before.
So you found this out after you killed her?
Yeah. Matthew Kilkoff is somebody that she was having some form of romantic relationship with.
Okay. When you say come home, was he living there?
I don't know.
Okay.
He's homeless, so he just kind of couch surfs. I know that he like was storing a bunch of drugs there because he's a drug dealer and whatever.
Like what kind of drugs?
Ketamine, MDMA, probably cocaine because he's a huge cokehead.
The story sounds so familiar. A breakup, public posts, wounded pride, one party moving on sooner than the other would have liked, but Chance firmly tells the police that he had a different motivation to murder Shannon.
I wanted Shannon back, and now I have her back. But I also wanted to take something away from her, but I had absolutely nothing to take away. And except her life. And so I fucking did it.
You mentioned earlier that if you took her life force, that you would feel closer to her. What does that mean exactly, like as far as?
Well, it's kind of like a Native American belief of like absorbing the soul whenever you kill an animal.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, like you're absorbing it and like, I don't know. I've never been violent to this extreme before, but I definitely just like, well, if I'm God and I take away your free will and I release your spirit, I take your spirit back.
Okay.
And I mean, I still feel like that.
So are you, like as we speak right now, how are you feeling about like our interactions? Are you feeling like you're a god right now?
I mean, yeah.
And we're like objects in front of you?
I mean,
I just want to get your state of mind because, you know, we all have different lenses.
I mean, you're not necessarily objects, you are people of authority, and and I am paying the price for like human laws and stuff like that because I'm in a human vessel, but like definitely like a god and like can make things happen.
Well, clearly, right?
Yeah.
There's no denying it. Chance clearly knows that he's not mentally stable. He tells detectives that he rang his mother before heading to her apartment, telling her that he needed to speak to doctors.
It was almost like something else like possessed me, because I even called my mom a couple times before I even got to her house to tell her that I need to go to a mental hospital
To get help.
Because.
And did you call your mom from the phone that we got off of you when you got arrested?
Yeah.
Okay, there were 2 phones, I believe.
Yeah, one's Shannon's and one's mine.
What medications are you on? I know I asked you earlier, but just
Abilify and Wellbutrin.
Okay. And do those help, do you think?
I thought they were helping.
Were you on your medication? I know you said you took some yesterday. Have you been properly taking your medications in the week prior to this?
No. I need to get back on them. And I need to take something for schizophrenia because the voices are deafening sometimes.
So, Chance was clearly in a crazy mental state on the night of the murder. The CCTV footage we discussed earlier shows him circling Shannon's neighborhood like a shark around bait.
I was kind of driving around because I just didn't really know what to do.
When was this?
This was at about like 11 o'clock.
Last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just driving around between like 11 and like midnight.
Okay.
Detectives decide to call out Chance here. He's not telling the whole truth. Video evidence from a neighbor's doorbell camera shows Chance getting out of his car just before midnight, walking across her driveway, and right on up to Shannon's house.
We have some video, like from the neighbors, like cameras or video systems, and it looks like you had walked up to the house maybe with like a t-shirt on initially.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Chance amends his story, telling detectives that he did come out of his car, but only to check on whether Shannon was in or not. He hesitates in his speech often. It's clear that being called out has made him more nervous.
Why don't you kind of tell me about when you first walked up to the house, around what time that was, if you recall, and what kind of happened the first time?
So I think it was between the times of like 10:30 and 11, or maybe 10 and 11, or somewhere around that time frame. That was the time that I like drove past. And was like
saw the van,
was trying to like work up the nerve to like go up to the door, but like didn't really know what to do. So I guess I don't know why, but I was just like, why don't you just like kind of just like see if she's even like here. And so I peered into the garage window to see if her car was there, and then I tried to see if I could see what room she was in without her seeing me on her cameras and stuff. And then I didn't see anything, and then whenever I left, I was like, you need to just go home, and you need to just give your mom your car keys, and you need to check yourself into a psych ward.
So when you walked up to the house 11, whenever, you hadn't planned on hurting her at that point?
No, not at all.
Right. So you
at
walked
that
up,
point, I just wanted to know.
And was the van in the driveway? What did this van look like?
It was like a red minivan. It was in the driveway.
And where were you parked at this point?
I parked around the corner, or like not around the corner, like down the street a little ways, out of shot of her security camera.
Okay.
And I approached from an angle that I wouldn't be seen.
It seems as if Chance hadn't even made his mind up on what to do with himself, or Shannon. That is, until he saw Matthew Kilkov.
Had you seen Matt yet, or?
I saw Matt whenever I was actually just about to come around the corner to try to like knock on the door.
Okay. Did he see you?
No, he had his back to me and he was coming out of the door, and then I got spooked and ran off.
So when you saw Matt and you left, and you ran off, you got in your car and drove straight home?
Yeah, I went straight to my mom's house, and
So what point in time did you think, all right, I'm gonna do this? Was it on the way home? Were you sitting in your room, or did you?
I got home. I was home for maybe 5 minutes, changed my clothes, grabbed a knife, and left again.
Chance's story isn't really consistent. His motivations aren't clear. And as detectives probe him further, it becomes clear that this case is even darker than they initially realized.
I stabbed her over and over and over again until she couldn't speak and was making weird raspy sounds, and then I slit her throat open. She said, "Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? Chance, stop. Wait, please stop. I'm dying. I love you, I love you." And then she didn't speak another word.
Chance stabs Shannon more than 30 times. She fights back, and defensive wounds prove that she tried to survive. Chance wears gloves during the attack, but later discards them in a bin at the scene. It appears as if he has no regard for fingerprints.
Like I said, honestly, at no point did I think that I could get away with it. It was just a matter of time before I was, honestly, I was just gonna wait for the sunrise to happen and watch one last sunrise outside of jail bars before my original plan was I was gonna call 911, tell them about Shannon, and then kill myself after giving them my location and telling them that I did it. And then my mom talked me down out of that.
Chance tells police that he was at Shannon's house for 2 hours and ended up leaving at around 4:30 or 5 a.m. But there's something else that he hasn't been telling them.
Did you have sex with Shannon?
Mm-hmm.
Afterward?
Mm-hmm.
At that point, was she dead?
Yeah.
Did you feel aroused, looking at her?
Not by her deadness, but I was still very sexually attracted to Shannon.
She was beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long do you think that lasted?
All of 5 or 10 minutes.
And did you wear a condom or?
Mm-hmm. It was another just acceptance of guilt.
The room goes silent. Chance's feelings of guilt, paranoia, betrayal, and hallucinations are prevalent. He speaks of voices in his head. It seems that, in Chance's mind, gods don't lose control. They take it.
I knew it was illegal, but I wanted Shannon back. And the voices kept just persisting about it was the only way. It was the only way to get her to stop. And it was the only way to get her back. And it was the only way to take my control back.
So, at least her parents have a little bit of peace to know that the person responsible is in custody, right?
No. I'm a very eye for an eye type of person. I think that the only justice would have been if I was dead too.
Maybe her parents feel the same way. I don't know. It's something that they're gonna have to live with.
Mm-hmm. I took their favorite daughter.
You did that than I am.
We'll never know what she truly felt because her last words were, "I love you." But I don't know if that was out of fear or if she was actually having
trying to get you to stop.
Yeah, I don't know if it was out of fear of trying, or if she was trying to get me to stop, or she just actually loved me and wanted to say it to try and get me to stop.
After driving home at dawn, Chance wakes his mother. He worries about whether or not he'll get shot by police, not about what he's done.
So you didn't go anywhere else afterward? You went directly to your mom's?
I went directly to my mom's because I just wanted to tell my mom face to face. And I woke my mother up and I said I killed Shannon.
How did your mom take it?
Like, shook, shaken, like just did not know what to say or do. She didn't cry, but she didn't she immediately said, we need to call the police right now, because that is the right thing to do.
She's probably in shock.
And then she kept just saying things like, you had your whole life. Anything that Shannon could have done to you, we could have worked through. This was not worth it. Some dumb girl was not worth this.
Chance seems to be rooted in confusion and delusion. On the one hand, he's adamant that he had a psychic break and a true belief that Shannon's soul would be a part of him through his killing of her. On the other hand, he seems confused as to why he was even there in the first place, especially after making numerous mental notes to himself to check into a psych ward.
Am I gonna be able to get a tray?
Think like right now. What's a tray?
Food.
Oh, food?
I haven't eaten yet today.
Oh, it's only 2:46.
Okay.
Yeah.
He seems empathetic one minute, but the next, he's completely detached, casually asking if he can pee and get some food as he hasn't eaten all day. As his fingerprints are taken and paperwork is filled out, Chance has only one thing to ask detectives.
In your experience, do the parents of the victims even want to hear anything?
I think this is all going to be out there. The trial, everything else, they're going to know. I think they would like to know how you feel about what happened.
I want you to tell them that Shannon didn't deserve to be a victim of my shortcomings and mental illnesses. And I want you to tell them that I hope that the void that I've created in their lives can someday not feel so great as it does right now.
Okay.
In July 2024, Chance Donahoe pled guilty to aggravated murder and abuse of a corpse. He was sentenced to life in prison with a possibility of parole after 31 years.